for this, so we have no idea what we're going to talk about. Probably the downfall of Hollywood, the destruction of our pop culture and our beloved IPs, and the rise of the Iron Age.
Anyone who's excited for the launch of ISOM 2? Like F&T.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, by the way. I saw 200.
I think this thing's not working. Do I really need that? Let's just do I need that microphone? We're all good.
Yeah.
Hey, first and foremost, before we get to introductions, we're even going to do that. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
You're the reason we did this.
That's all we are, that's all we'll ever be. We might be up on this panel, but like we're always together, and that's, it's all about authenticity, as Robert Meyer Burnett says. That's the currency of the future, and that's what's fragmenting entertainment right now. That's a good thing. I think that's a real good thing that we're seeing it decentralized. Hopefully that happens. But yeah, we're seeing it, and we're seeing the gatekeepers fall. Isn't it funny for so long they called us gatekeepers?
That's about it. I mean, it's funny to see everything that's going on, everything that we've been talking about for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in some cases. It's all coming true, and the mainstream media is finally coming to grips with reality that Hollywood in a big way is over. And independent creators, independent media outlets, independent entertainers, that's the new normal. And the fact that we have over 10,000 people watching us on Friday nights instead of watching Netflix, instead of watching whatever their favorite show was before, even if they don't care about the topic that week, they're tuning in just to watch us mess around, joke, sit like really uncomfortably on a couch for 3 hours at a time.
Really uncomfortable.
No, you're right. We are the media now, and that's you too. That's all. And it's great. And seeing the gatekeepers fall, and for Hollywood, largely doing it to themselves. They're committing suicide right now. They're going to completely shut down in a matter of 2 weeks. They're shutting everything down. So that'll be fun to watch. Does anybody really care?
No. Let them burn.
Yeah.
I drink popcorn and watch.
Yeah. Watch the fire. So
Except for Coca-Cola.
let it happen. We've tried. We're friends, and we want things to be good. I always want something to be good, and if it is, I'm going to root for it. That's what we do. We were pretty much coexisting peacefully for a long time until a lot of the corporate culture came in, a lot of the whole BS came in and started dividing us politically. They started, calling us every name in the book, saying things always were political. People who picked up a pop vinyl just yesterday, telling, Eric and I have been reading comics all our lives, like how things go. It's like, oh, really? That's doing me. That's doing me too. Okay, I'll listen. I'll listen for a little while. But I mean, we just want things to be better. Essentially, when we were making these videos, we were telling these companies, hey, we still want to give you money. We still want to root for Star Wars. We still like Star Trek. Just stop hating us. And they wouldn't. So now, they like to say consequence culture that are living in it. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hi, Chris Gore.
Hey!
What's happening?
Thank you for having me on the panel, Gary. I love it. I've been watching FNT since the beginning. Fans of all of you. Been watching Eric July so long. I watch it when we only talk about comics. So,
12.
yeah, exactly. Look like a kid. No, I think this is an amazing opportunity with Hollywood. I think Hollywood has always kind of sucked. It's become overly corporate, and I think it's important to seek out new creators, new stuff, like ISOM #2, which drops on Monday. For those of you that don't know, my outlet is filmthread.com. I've been covering indie movies for years, and I've always said, F Hollywood.
Yeah.
Just check out out and check out an indie film. There's all sorts of indie creators, not just people here, but people making movies and whatnot. So support that. Inspired by Eric July and inspired by Hollywood, I have a book called Celebrities Poop. It's exactly as described. It's celebrities taking a shit. And it's inspired by our current situation. I have a limited number of copies, and I will be at booth the hallway. Right after this, I've got just a few copies. I'll be selling these for $10. Happy to sign them. Free film thread stickers. But enough about plugging my bullshit. I'm just really humbled to be here and just see the nerd community, the geek community, finally I don't know, have a voice in all of this. And that's what I've always appreciated about Gary, Ryan, Eric, Garrett. And no, I think I've talked too much now to Garrett.
Go watch Attack of the Dog.
Attack of the Dog.
Oh yeah. If you are a fan of the old G4, you're probably gonna love Attack of the Dog. If you are a fan of the new G4, what the fuck are you thinking? But no, look, respect to the people who like the new G4. There are some of you out there, but really, I hope that you check out my documentary. It's on VOD, on Amazon, all the VOD things. It really was made by fans. All the guys that worked on it used to watch me when they were in junior high, which is really weird. And I hope you check it out because it's really about fandom and touches on this divide that is unfortunately just corrupted everything. I think it's disgusting. I don't support anyone who pushes division on any scale. I think it's horrifying, and I think just ignore all that noise. F that. We're all here because we're fans. So, yeah, check out my movie on Amazon. Thanks.
It's really good.
Thank you everybody for showing up. It is so cool. We just did the meetup last night, the day before last night. And it's all together, it's all coming together. And then you guys coming here today, it's so humbling. I'm one of the most humble people in the world, you know. And, it's just very cool to see everybody come together. And like you said, it is our job now to make the entertainment. And that's not just people on the stage, it's everybody in the audience. It's taking the torch from Eric July, going out there and putting his money where his mouth is, and inspiring so many people behind them. So it's exciting. The whole field is awesome right now. So thank you for coming.
And I did want to say, obviously, I don't know if you can tell by every single different corporate logo is a rainbow, but it is Pride Month, and we don't have any Pride representation here, but we do at Geeks and Gamers, because right now, despite the fact that we're live streaming this on Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy, Dan Mask, and Fear the Beardo decided to go live and play Fortnite. I can't think of anything gayer than that, so Eric July, we've been talking about Riververse a couple times anyway. He's been talking about this for a long time. Got a lot of shit when he said, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and walks out, moonwalks out the door with $3.7 million for Ice on One. Yeah, Keanu Reeves, that guy's crowdfunding, whatever, that's no big deal. I'm Eric fucking July, right? But I do think that what we're talking about, what you're getting ready to do, the momentum that everything's happening right now, as Hollywood's continuing to go down, streaming services are failing. We're seeing them frantically try to cut all these things, using the writer's strike as an excuse to cut away all this fat that they've had for years. It feels like there's a change. How do you feel?
No, absolutely. That's what it is. And I know Gary talked about it a little bit, about how everything is decentralized. Like a barrier of entry is, it's almost non-existent right now. People are able to film stuff on their DSLRs, printing costs, I mean, they suck, but with crowdfunding and all of that, it's introduced a new element where people are able to kind of subsidize different various projects. So it's kind of a perfect combination where you see Hollywood going in the direction that they're going, and it's incentivizing a lot of people, be it myself and others, to just get out there and try to give it a shot on our own. And that's a result of that. Just like if we give it a shot, it's not to say every single person has to have a creative bone in their body, but when you go and support something like that, it goes a long way. And that's what ISOM does and what these other projects that people are doing does. When they accumulate that amount of money, it's not like I'm pocketing it, I don't buy Lamborghinis or anything, I just reinvest it right back into our company so we can continue to make content and create stuff in comic books that you guys want. So the barrier of entry is completely been pretty much eliminated. You can do what you want. However, and I will say this, a lot of people are totally unprepared for when you do get that level of success, you're going to get a lot of people that say things about you that are just absolutely abhorrent. The example that I always use, like the best of us, I think we all agree, is Jay, right? And what he did, he decided to make his own kind of all ages book, and he got as much hate as I did, which makes absolutely no sense. I'm rough around the edges, I get it, so I'm expecting people to be angry at me. But somebody like him, it doesn't make any sense. But people don't like folks like ourselves just getting out there and being great, but they can't stop us, and that's actually what aggravates me. So if there's anybody out here watching this, whatever you are, wherever you are, if you do have anything that you're working on, other folks that are supporting it, that you like to support, just get out there and do it. You'd be surprised just how far that stuff can go.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that really helps, you guys get, if anybody even shows support for any channel in our sphere, it's not just us, they get crowd too. And the recovery principle that I've internalized as a member of AA is, it taught me not to give a fuck. And that goes a long way in just not letting people get in your way and not letting myself get of any kind of creative process. And I started my channel as a hobby. It was just fun. I needed something to do to make going to work every day manageable. I was happy with my family, but the job was like not great. So a little hobby helps, and it turned into something, and that can happen to some people, and it might not happen for others, but at least you'll meet new people. I've met so many great new people through this. That's been the best part. And again, the reason we can keep going is because of you guys.
Absolutely.
Like that's the only reason I can not give a fuck as much as I want, but there's still people who enjoy our stuff and back us, and we really appreciate it, and we feel the same for you. We've always got the fans back here, no matter what. That's what we're about. That's what I'm about. That's the major principle of everybody in our sphere. That's the commonality, is we care about the fan first, and we kind of want fandom to, I don't know, you can't say be what it used to be, but get back to a place where it can be fun. That's it. Just bring back some fun.
What am I supposed to do? I have no clue what I'm doing on YouTube. I just, I speak my mind, and I also try to just direct you towards, which is kind of what I did when I was on Attack the Show. It's like, here's this big Hollywood piece of shit movie that I have to talk about, but check out Poultrygeist from Trauma Films. So just try to let you know that there are alternatives out there. There are filmmakers making small movies. I did recently, it was kind of provoked by Kenobi series. I think to me that was the death of Star Wars. Not that it didn't die before, but I held out hope for that. And kind of inspired by the pure awfulness that was that show, I decided to become a judge. And I started launching a show called Critics Court. We are putting Disney and Lucasfilm on trial for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. It is a very serious fake trial. I want you to take it very seriously, and just like any judge on the Supreme Court, I'm just as biased as them. So, it's a lot of fun. Ryan, if the whole YouTube thing doesn't work out for you on RK Outpost, would make a great attorney. He was recently on the show, presented a very compelling case for the prosecution. I have no idea what the outcome of this trial will be, but you, the fans of the jury, so I hope you check out Critics Court. We're just fucking around doing a big court show. Check it out. Garrett, I don't know what I'm thinking yet.
I don't know either what I'm doing. I'm gonna go back to what you were saying about creators. So you guys am the perfect example of I've lucked into having my own show somehow. I don't know how I did it. I'm retarded and I don't know what I'm doing, but I seem to keep doing it because I'm doing what I like to do. So a lot of you guys out there, if you have a hobby that you really enjoy, you can find that group. You can go online, you can make videos, you can incorporate yourself in with those people, and you can succeed. We are a testament to those kinds of things. Chris Gore loves movies. He's got his own show. He's got his own website, whole company. Eric July went out and made his own comic book. Fucking $3 million. Killed it. So I want everybody out there to think about the things that they want to do. It doesn't even have to be creative. Go out and do it because it's possible.
Very inspirational. I do think that that's one of the coolest things when we do the meetups, because obviously the story's been told before. That's how I got my start. San Diego Comic-Con, back when these meetups, instead of filling up bars in Dallas, Texas, or Las Vegas, Nevada, back when it was like 7 people just chilling at a bar in San Diego. 8. Sorry, 8. I don't want to play it. But you know, I went there because I've been listening to Gary and Jeremy for so long, and I just wanted to meet them, and we talked a lot. They convinced me to start a YouTube channel, and now here we are almost 4 years later, which is kind of wild. Sorry. But one of the coolest things when we do these meetups, when we get a chance to see you guys, is seeing everybody interact with each other. Because I think a lot of people have had a very similar experience when it comes to this side of YouTube, the entertainment sphere, where you were looking at something going on in entertainment, you knew something was wrong, but all the mainstream outlets weren't talking about it. They were just like, yeah, everything's perfect, everything's fine. If you don't like this, you're obviously just a racist or a bigot or whatever. And then you realize, oh wait, I'm not alone. There's a freaking army out there who has the same principles and morals as me, who's actually calling this stuff out, isn't gonna abandon me, and you find each other. So that's the coolest thing when we do these meetups, we get to meet you guys, but then all of a sudden, 3, 4, 5 people that we meet, all of a sudden are doing a podcast together. They're starting to stream, they're doing something. And that just makes this fellowship continue to grow, the message continue to get out there, and it's awesome to see.
And I watch all those podcasts, by the way. I'm a YouTube addict, so like anytime you're streaming, I'm there. I'm in chat. I just stay out of it, you know. I usually stay out of it, but I watch all you guys, so I'll be lurking.
That sounds creepy as shit.
I'll watch it. Okay, I'll let myself out.
But we do have a microphone here, guys. If there's anybody who wants to ask any questions, please feel free to line up right there. I see, hold on. I saw a hand raised from Brandon back there. Are you good? You don't want to talk? You don't want to speak? Or you can make a joke? Oh, okay. But no, if anybody does want to ask a question, anybody on the panel about anything in general, please feel free to line up. And we got like 20, 25 minutes of just chatting with you guys. Yeah. So,
No plan.
Look at this. Right here. Please step out head to toe. You probably got it. What's up, man?
All right. So now that I've just graduated high school not too long ago, a month ago. I just downloaded Unity onto my computer, given that Unreal Engine is obviously not the right. Sorry. Obviously, since Unreal Engine isn't the option anymore due to their thing with Dove, I just downloaded Unity, and I'm once I get back to my home in Illinois, I'm wanting to start learning how to use Unity to basically attempt the equivalent of the Rippaverse for the video game industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, however, I realized that the main reason why Eric was so successful is because of the fact that he's so familiar and experienced and knowledgeable on the comic book industry, which is probably the main reason why he was successful in the first place. I was wondering if any of you guys had anything any sources, any websites, anything I could do to like research what state the video game industry is in, possibly?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a direct web. I mean, you can keep up on like the losers over there, like IGN and Kotaku and all those guys. I mean, as far as understanding what not to do. But on a serious note, like there are no rules in it anymore. I think that's what we found out with the Riververse stuff. And you're right, like you're young. Like I wasn't. Yeah, you could ask me when I was like 18, 19, 20. Yeah, you're gonna own your own $1 million comic book company. I'd be like, yeah, bullshit. But so you're young and you got plenty of time to kind of try to figure this stuff out. But you know, interacting with real people is always helpful. You get kind of an actual gauge of what that industry needs, what that industry wants, what those customers are into, what problems sort of plague it. And I think as you interact with more people, that's what the YouTube scene kind of did for us. And Ryan spoke to it, like us not being alone and figuring out like, oh, okay, other people are seeing what I'm seeing. Because I remember vividly in the 20, we talked about this yesterday, Gary, about the mid-2010s when we knew Marvel was going to shit, but it was like nobody else was discussing it. You know, we're reading like all different stuff. We're like, something is fundamentally changing with this industry. So interact with people in whatever way. It's not, and again, there's no rules anymore. And because you can't really depend on journalists to actually give it to you straight, a lot of that stuff you're going to have to do on your own. But as I always say, you much rather listen to the customers anyway than Access Media and other game journals who have kind of ulterior motives there. So just interact and use that as you're building your business or as you're trying to learn how to develop games. Like, do it with an audience sort of in mind, and you just be surprised how much you can succeed there. But again, big shout out to you because we're seeing where gaming, this whole COD thing that popped off, we're seeing where gaming, it does need a Riververse and it needs it bad. So more power to you.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as an overnight success, right? Like Eric July has had huge success. That didn't happen like in one day. That was 7 years of planning, not to mention lifetime of reading comics and whatnot. So
And obviously Glenn back paid for the whole
But I'm just saying that like you need like go for your dream, that's great. Inspirational quotes, that's great. Like you need 5% of that. The 95 other percent is information. You really need information, hard information, and also you need to do it for a long time. Usually 10 years. If you try to succeed in something for 10 years, you don't see even a little success, maybe think about something different. But I'll quote John Waters, who said if you try to make a bad movie, you can't fail. The point is to just go for it and learn from your mistakes, and that's what I would advise you to do. So. Tap in applause, but I'll take it.
Great meeting you all. I'm a fan of every single one of you. So my question is, I'm currently working on starting a comic book company myself. Is there any suggestions on what I should do?
Much to what I just spoke about in filling out kind of the industry, but the biggest part about it is, I know a lot of people get deterred, getting so caught up in like impressing peers and other people that are, let's say, doing the thing it is that you have aspirations to do. And I don't want to sound like a dick, but like you can't, I don't say don't listen to them because it's valuable advice that they may give you, but ultimately a lot of these guys are still trying to figure it out. A lot of these guys have worked for mega corporate entities themselves, these guys that have been around. So it's like very formulaic and nobody really knows what the future sort of look like, so a lot of uncertainty there. So that's why it's so important to keep kind of your pulse sort of on the industry. But I think a big thing that our side, our corner of the internet can use, I think is what the Riververse did, but other companies, I would take this into consideration, is trying to get a product that is not only just well produced, but it's ready to be presented to people. And its nearing completion is probably your best idea. So I don't know if you're more on the writing side, artist, or both, but you know, with me, like I can't draw worth shit. So I got rid of a concept artist when I draw my little shitty sketches and I could present it to him and he'd be like, oh, all right, this is more what you're looking for, to then give that to like Cliff Richards. who guys, for one, he did a phenomenal job on it, but, you know, we were able to do that because of my concept art. So it's also, it takes a team to make a comic book. So getting with people that can sort of boost up any sort of efficiencies it is that you have is going to be very, very important if you're going to want to be successful in the industry. But as far as, again, who you listen to, it absolutely has to be people that you're trying to sell it to. If you're trying to make it anything above just like a simple passion project. So.
Thank you so much.
Practice a lot. Find one thing, kind of focus yourself on. Practice. That's my son wants to do the same thing, my youngest son. And that's what I tell him all the time. So, no, you jump in.
So real quick, there are 2 YouTube videos I recommend you watch. There's Neil Gaiman gave a 20-minute speech at a college about creativity and how he achieved what he did. Really interesting speech. There's also the 2016 keynote address at the South by Southwest Film Festival by Mark Duplass. He gave a speech about how he started his career making indie movies. He made a small indie movie called The Puffy Chair. The takeaway from it is basically the cavalry isn't coming. The cavalry is not coming. They're not going to come in. No one's going to come in and give you a deal, a comic book deal, or give you a movie deal. Do it yourself. So really great and inspirational speeches. The other thing that I've learned, I've done this for over 20 years. I learned this from Olympic athletes. What they do is they will make a list of the milestones that they want to achieve, the goals, and they keep it in their wallet, right? And why? You open your wallet every day for something to look. And so you're looking at that list. Whatever it is, make that list. I've had this list in my pocket for almost 20 years. I keep it in my wallet. It's a list of shit that I plan to do, and it's all fucking tattered up. Some of it's personal, some of it's like business type goals. Make a list, do the thing on the list, and that's what I would say. So.
Everyone clap for Chris Gore!
It was way better than the last time you clapped.
I got another question for Ripa too. So going through this multi-year process of, doing the reverse. Yeah, you're fine. You can chill. Knowing what you know now, what's one thing you wish you knew before you started this whole journey?
Oh man, the biggest thing is, and you really don't know until you don't know. And a lot of what I learned is more centered around the business element, right? And us being our own distributor was huge because no other really comic book company does that for the most part. They put that on someone else. So there was a lot of logistical stuff that I myself had to learn, and obviously bringing on Brandon and helping out with that stuff and the rest of our team. It was so important, but everything is, and I sort of knew this, but it's about like bargaining chips, and that's really top to bottom with businesses. These guys get to the level that they're at. It's not necessarily just producing the best product, but it's using that as leverage to get better things. So for an example, with our printing stuff, and I would push way harder on this had I kind of understood our trajectory, and that is that, hey, I know we're gonna be able to print this many copies, so I need to be going to printer to printer and saying, well, this printer says they can do it for this cost per copy. And that's really all you do from even the shipping on down, that's all it ever is, and that's how you get lower rates, which of course benefit your customers. I think that applies to every industry, but until it like really smacked me, in the face, I really didn't understand it. So the biggest thing is it's logistics, it's straight logistics. It's less about the creative stuff. It's, okay, we created it. I say this all the time on stream, like the creative part is the easiest part of it. The most difficult part is, okay, I now have to get it to the customers. And that's where the real work starts.
Still be creative.
Yeah, and then still be creative because you got to keep that in mind. So yeah, good question.
Follow up for Chris. Do celebrities pee? I know they're
That's the sequel book. And thank you for thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm a little too short.
So I would stand it up for comics division, but he's not.
Hey, my name's Jonathan, and I've been working on a comic book for which I posted on DeviantArt for 8 years. It's called the Sky Queen, which technically still there. If you could see the boobs, it's. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, if you could see the boobs, you don't need those glasses. There it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Booze.
I've been working on that Sky Queen for about 8 years with a really talented artist, which I was just so incredibly fortunate to find some artist who was not only talented, but was also committed to the project through that whole time. And around the time when DeviantArt introduced like ability to monetize your work, I was thrilled about it. And then just last year, I was kicked off of DeviantArt, all because of a meme that I posted there. And the meme goes with about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. It says, if you ever feel like you're worthless, just remember the most popular president let this happen.
DeviantArt's not gonna like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so DeviantArt, we might as well call it degenerate art at this point, same thing. But like a lot of those places, a lot of these messaging boards, like things like that, whether it's in the gaming space, the like anime space, whatever it is, a lot of them are run by raging leftist activists.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dear people. Dear people who will not allow that kind of thing. So it's not surprising at all.
Yeah. So, sorry for going on a tangent, but what I wanted to get to was asking a question to Eric July was.
No one else supports it.
Sorry, so thank you for your input, Markel. All right.
I'm just his manager.
We had a worker yesterday bringing in all the totes with Brandon, so yeah.
Yeah, basically. Where's my 1099?
You mean your 199?
So my question was, but in the unforeseeable future, what do you think your advice would be if something like that were to happen to you? Like 1 minute your business was canceled, or if something got in the way and where you weren't able to make another issue of how do you bounce back after being like canceled like that?
Well, I think that's the importance of looking at the trajectory of your business through the lens of 5, 10, 15 years from now. I remember when we got a lot of pushback when we said that we weren't going to use, for example, Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and we got a lot of pushback. And it's funny because now both of those companies are kicking people off the platform, shadow banning, dealing with all those sorts of issues that I don't have to worry about because we own it and it's on our own site. So I think the tools have been decentralized, and it's affordable. It's not just decentralized, it's more affordable than it ever been. So any event that you can afford it, I think it's worth looking into actually doing as much as you realistically can yourself. And that's why it's a lot of work. And a lot of people need to be prepared for that. If you're going to not push that on to someone else, you're going to be working all the time. I work nonstop. So that's kind of your approach, but we're uncancelable. So what are they going to say? They get mad at me and like, start getting pissy. Who they gonna come from, the distributor? And I'm like, I am the damn distributor. So they can't come at anybody there. So I think that's the way that's the approach. Is always try to do as much as you can. Some things you can't, but do as much as you can in-house if you can afford it, and you'll be able to sort of prevent stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Also, I love your hat. Hail Kaiser.
Oh, God.
Germany was still the bad guys then too.
Hi, how you doing? Doing well. So, my question kind of revolves around YouTube, and this goes to everyone, not just Eric July. So, I'm making like YouTube on the side along with my main job, and I'm just trying to learn like the best things to do in terms of growing it,
That's all right.
potentially. And all that stuff. And one of the things I learned was in terms of YouTube is relevancy. I made a Loki review, trashing on it, and it didn't gain traction until like several months later, where it was May and July, and I realized, that's because Doctor Strange and Thor came out, so relevancy there. So I would ask, what is maybe one thing you learned while doing YouTube that you realized like a similar kind of revelation, where like, I should start doing this, or that kind of thing?
Yeah, so the biggest things are like, one, if you're talking about something that no one else cares about or no one else is talking about, there might be a chance that no one watches it, right? Two is consistency, and that means different things for different people. That might mean 4 videos a month. That might mean 4 videos a day, right? But you can find a lot of different ways to make it work. What you're doing right now, you're starting your channel, you're doing it on the side, you're doing it while you have a normal job too, which is the way all of us started in the beginning. The important thing is set like attainable goals that are manageable based on your life. And however much you want to dedicate to YouTube, it's important to stick with it. Because if your goal is I want to do 2 videos a week, and you just wishy-washy on it, you're never gonna have success. So pick something, 1 video a week might be all you can do, and start there, get it done, do that thing, and you'll continue to see growth.
And timing does matter. I mean, you would know about that. So it has to be a balance of what I care, I'll use my I statements, what I care about, but it also, if it's something that's gonna hit. Sometimes I'll just do a video that's just something I care about. I can do that now, it's kind of cool. Thanks, everybody. But then there's like an Indiana Jones thing that pops up, and it's like, well, you have to kind of balance creativity and getting it out. So you can't it can't be your master. Not everything has to be your masterpiece. Not everything has to be the best. The most important part is having fun. And that's the only way that's worked for me, so.
And I would add just one thing. I learned this from Ryan Cannell. Make sure you do a little cartoon balloon that says, "We're fucked." And that'll get clicks.
The red laser eyes.
We're fucked.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
And good luck to you.
Hello everyone. Gary, I hope you've been practicing your Texanisms I taught you.
I have, I'm not very good, I can say y'all.
Okay. We'll keep working on it.
We'll work on it.
So this is kind of more of a question for all you YouTubers here, not just on the panel, but anyone here. With the Twitch pulling the rug at the last hat, YouTube with their corporate gatekeepers, do you all have plans to diversify in case they just say, you know what, no more you guys?
Well, like, I mean, at the end of the day, so I'm geared onto Rumble, I'm geared onto Odyssey, right? Both those places I don't get nearly the same engagement as YouTube, but we do have a little bit of a following there. Rick, you've been on Odyssey for a long ass time. So we do have those places. YouTube is the biggest platform. It's not even close. And it's awesome the things that Rumble's doing out there. And if you're one of those, you know, one of those massive guys that they're paying millions of dollars to come there, that's awesome. They're not at that point for everybody yet. There's not a ton of people that can get the same traction and make the same, you know, money that you can on Rumble as you can on YouTube. It's just not really out there yet. But they're growing, they're working on it, and they're doing their best. And I think we got to continue to support, you know, all platforms like that. I'm still going to upload to YouTube because it's the only way people are going to continue to find me. And maybe they decide to watch over on Rumble, and that's great. But I think for most of us, at least up here, we all have some form of alternative platform we also upload to, just in case, you know, finally one trans joke too many, you know.
It is important to have that diversification, right? To have your to have that backup channel, even though it's not the main channel for a lot of us. In case that first channel goes down, you have the other form of communication. You go, look, this is another place you can find me. Or those people that want to jump ship from YouTube, which I totally understand because YouTube sucks, you already have that place. So yeah, if you have that kind of drive, if you're a content creator, have those other spaces because you never know when the rug will be pulled.
We all fly without a net. We know, Ryan and I talked about this last night. We know like this could all end tomorrow. And that's how we go about it. But there is fun ways, like you got YouTube speak, we say ISK, we say phobe, and I do like being in the belly of the beast and poking the bear. It's fun. It's lots of fun. I plan to do it.
It's the battleground. You gotta be there.
Yeah, maybe Twitter nowadays since
maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Heard a lot of talk on Twitter, and I like a lot of the talk, but they've got a ways to go. Like YouTube, like Ryan said, has a massive head start on everybody. It's been going since 2005. So it's going to take probably a decade for like Rumble to even consider competing, but as long as they stay alive, it'd be nice.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
I got another request. Can we get a microphone for X-Ray Girl so she can say her 9 words?
We gave her the mic, but it didn't work.
Nah, but for real, I just want to say y'all guys are fucking awesome. I'm starting buying comic books. I enjoy y'all channels, and just keep it up, man.
Thank you, Corey.
Hi, my name is Lucy, and I've been watching Friday Night Tights for 3 or so years now. I went to the meetup a couple nights ago. Hail. And I told some of y'all this at the meetup a couple nights ago, but I'm currently producing a comic inspired by the literature of Wales. You have everything. You have knights, giants, dragons, witches, fairies. You have a lot of material to work with. And so, thank you. And so, as I write and produce my stories, sometimes I'll have those moments of, am I making men look bad? Am I making women look bad? Because I remember I first began to notice the issues in 2016 when Ghostbusters came out, and there was a review that I had seen that said, I'm not going to watch this movie because I think the original is perfect the way it is. And that was his boundary as a full-grown adult, but he was still yelled at for it. And so it's because of messes like that that sometimes I think to myself, I'm writing a male character and making a mistake. Am I making men look bad? I'm writing a female character and making a mistake. Am I making women look bad? I don't want to have those feelings, but they come. And so how can I overcome those worries of, I hope I'm not making anybody look bad, because I want my readers to get a legitimately good product. You know what I mean? So how can I overcome those feelings of doubt?
Well, first I want to apologize because you came up last night, or a meetup night. I was a little drunk. You said you're doing about like stories of whales. I think you're about talking about the ocean and shit. I was not super interested. I was like, okay, whales.
Oh my God!
Because I'm sober, I understood what you were saying.
But I think, it's crazy that in this current day and age, the way modern entertainment is across the board, that you even have to think about that stuff. And I understand where you're coming from. To me, you're gonna have good characters, you're gonna have bad characters. There are men and women, and I don't think you should worry about it. I think you should tell the story that you want to tell with the characters that you want to tell. Now, if you're looking through it and you see that, wow, every single man in my story is super evil and takes advantage of everyone, that is maybe is that actually the story I want to tell? Whatever. But in terms of being super hyper focused on that, I would tell the stories with the characters you want. Don't let it stop you. I'll let this guy. It's really a question for him.
I would say as long as you're not using characters as a vehicle to preach all this social nonsense, you're generally gonna be fine, right? I think even in Ice on One, we introduced a lot of characters that people are kind of excited for, and they range across the race, gender, or whatever, and it's all good. So it's not anything to be hyper focused on. Generally, when it comes across as okay, this is a man-hating thing or something of that nature, it's because it was done purposefully by the writer. Right? And as long as you're not doing that, generally speaking, you're going to be absolutely fine. So
I appreciate that, because if I were to sum up my story in one sentence, it would be like this. Fellowship is essential during times of trouble. That's what my story is about.
There you go.
Thank you.
We got these two, and that's it. We got to wrap it up after you guys.
Sorry, I'm just short as hell.
It's all right.
Just grow 6 inches right now. You got it.
Believe me, if I could, I would. My name is Kaylee. I met you guys up earlier a couple of nights ago over at the meetup. Oh.
Just get closer.
Oh, like this?
Yep.
You try to aim it right at okay. My original question was supposed to be involving 2 different parts, but I figured this is actually all-encompassing. I'm an aspiring artist, voice actress, and writer. And something that's been bothering me lately is something that encompasses all 3, and that's the use of AI to generate both writing, artwork, and voice work. Where do all of you stand on the idea that AI could someday replace creativity?
I don't think it will. I don't think it will replace genuine creativity from there's no replacing that. There's something about the human experience that you can create.
That's
They
like
can,
a
they can
fake
make
tool,
a they can make a fake version of that, something that is a semblance of that, but not true creativity.
That's like saying corporate beer is what everybody's gonna drink. I prefer a handcrafted cocktail myself. And I feel like it's gonna go that way with creativity. I'm actually kind of obsessed with all this AI generated, like, it's like, Stanley Kubrick's Tron. Like, I love that, but they're just pictures and art. It's not gonna replace it, I think, in the long run. It's also a tool that will be used. It's just a different tool. The computer didn't replace, pen and paper. You can still use it. Like, it's just another tool for an artist. You still need an artist mind to create.
It'll make it more valuable too.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about, selling my shit for a premium.
Listen, until AI becomes self-aware, we got nothing to worry about. You got 10 minutes.
Believe me, I'm not worried about the self-awareness. I'm just worried about self-awareness actually becoming a problem for other companies, thinking they can use that to replace think tanks.
Oh yeah.
But overall, it's here, it's gonna be used, but it's not gonna make creativity go away. So, but thank you for your question, Taylor.
I'll make it quick. Good to see everyone again.
What's up, man?
We were both drunk last night, the other night, right?
He's not talking to Gary, he's talking to me.
Yeah. Well, actually, this question's for Chris Gore. I can't remember how the hell you showed me Back to the Future. I think everyone might want to know about it. How do you do it?
Did you listen to it?
Well, I can't find it again. I was so drunk, I forgot.
I'll find it. So, he's talking about a script that somebody wrote, a fourth Back to the Future movie, and it's hysterical. So there's a podcast where they read unproduced screenplays, and it's hilarious. It's about a Back to the Future fan that ends up going back in time with a DeLorean to the shooting of Back to the Future. And they're making it, and Eric Stoltz is the villain. It's hilarious. And if you can hear the script, which has original music, it's really good. I'll find it for you, but look up Back to the Future. I believe the podcast is unscripted. They read unproduced screenplays, really creative stuff. I can't find it. And I was also very drunk as Brian.
Alright, there we go. And unfortunately, they're cutting this off because that's the time limit, guys. But again, we're gonna be around. I'm sure we'll be hanging out in that little side area. There's a little room. Shake you guys' hands, talk to you a little bit afterwards. But can't speak for everybody, but I'll speak for me. This is awesome. We love seeing you guys. We love having these rooms out and hearing from you. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to Dallas Fan Expo for hosting us.
Thank you guys for coming out.